And of course, I'm here today to talk with you about your career. I know you've done acting, filmmaking, directing, almost everything in the industry, it feels like. How did you get started in the industry?
I started acting when I was just about to graduate high school. And I'd say about a year into my acting career, I realized that, there was only so much you can do to progress your career as an actor. Because, a lot of it is just waiting for auditions and whatnot. So I created a web series with my best friend, and we spent the next year just writing and casting and just learning how to do everything that you need to do in order to really bring a project to full fruition. And then I fell in love with directing and kind of producing just by default.
Saw that you were on Forbes 30 under 30. That's like such a huge honor. Like, what was your reaction when you saw that?
I am honestly still shocked. It's like I'm so shook from it. I think that I first heard that I was on it and I was shocked for a good couple hours, and then I talked to my mom on the phone and I just like it hit me. It always hits you when you're talking to mom, right?
Of course.
And I cried a little bit. I definitely did some crying.
You have your own production company. How did you start doing that? What made you want to make that?
Yeah, so I've been directing and producing for almost 10 years now, and it just sort of made sense to eventually kind of keep all my projects under one umbrella. So it was kind of an inevitable thing.
So are you doing more of like directing and producing now more so than acting? Because I like watched you on Famous in Love a couple of years ago. That's like of course what a lot of people know you from, but are you taking more of like the directing and filmmaking approach now?
Yeah, I think I am sort of I'm really gravitating towards directing right now, and I love acting just as much. But for some reason, the universe is presenting me with a lot of amazing opportunities in regards to production and directing. So I'm kind of just taking it as it comes.
Definitely. What have been like your favorite projects that you've worked on so far?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. I guess as far as acting goes, I really loved working on Famous in Love just because it was so nice to be able to take ownership of a character for multiple years because I was so used to doing film and having, a couple months to own a character, so to speak, and then you kind of just have to let go. So I loved that about doing Famous. And then I really loved directing this last film I did called Night Night. It was amazing, and the crew and the cast were incredible, and we were in this small town in Texas, and we really just got to know each other on such a beautiful deep level. It was amazing.
That's amazing. It must be like fun to travel for work, of course. And I kind of
Yeah.
want to go back to Famous in Love a little. If I remember correctly, you played an antagonist character. What was it
Yeah,
like playing, I guess, like a mean girl?
it's so fun. I love it. It's just the more you can differ from who you are as a person, I think the more fun it is. And that's kind of what acting's all about, in my opinion. It's just playing someone totally different and getting to find pieces of you in them, but really just getting to embody someone else completely. So I love playing evil. I don't know why, it's so much fun.
Do you have a favorite like memory or episode that you filmed from the show?
There was one episode. I wonder if it was the same one. There was one where we did a flashback of this show that we were supposed to be on as kids called Backsplash. It was supposed to be like a Disney show. And we had to do really bad acting. Like the director directed us to just act as terribly as we could. And that was so weird and counterintuitive and so much fun. And then there was one episode where I was supposed to be like stuck in my trailer and I had a fat suit on, and I was like, I couldn't get out of it. And that was really fun too.
Gosh. Have you like taken any, I guess, lessons from working on that show, I guess, with regards to directing and into your own like directing that you do right now?
Yeah, I mean, I just have been inundating myself with any sort of information I can get my hands on about the industry and about directing and acting since the moment I decided to start. And I think it's just because I'm so, like, my passion is for this industry is so overwhelming and for my craft. So I read as much as I can and I watch things and I take people out to coffee constantly and pick people's brains. And I've taken a lot of acting classes, and I took I never went to film school, but I did the Sundance Institute
Oh,
and a few other cool filmmaking workshops like that. Yeah, so lots of studying.
any like dream projects or goals within your career that you want to fulfill?
Ooh, yeah, a lot. mean, obviously, like, yeah, I would love to, I would love to do another show soon. I think that would be really fun. I loved working on a show consistently like that. And I have two films right now that are in the financing stage. One is a really wacky young adult comedy, and one is a really equally as wacky but different drama with some comedic elements. So I'm excited to do those, and I'm really just excited to see what's next, like directorially for me.
Do you like to focus on like I guess one genre like drama or comedy more so than others?
Oh, that's, I feel like every time I answer that question, I always feel like I think about my answer after and I'm like, why did I say that? Because I love this and this and this. I love all of it. I really do. And when it comes to like acting and directing, there's not one genre that I love the most. I love comedy. I love drama. And I just did psychological thriller for the first time with Night Night, and I loved that too. I honestly didn't think I would because I'm not that big of a horror fan, but it was fun.
Definitely. And the holidays are coming up. Do you have any traditions that you do with your family to celebrate?
Yeah, I'm going to Philadelphia, and that's where my mom's side of the family is. And we, yeah, so we do like, sure she'll greet me when I get home with a whole Italian spread of like prosciutto and cheese and all that. And then we just do, the usual holiday things. But we have gotten kind of into, it's very much like a joke because we're all terrible singers, but we're very into caroling for whoever will listen.
Of course, we were in quarantine for a little while. What did you do to stay busy? Did you work on any projects during the time or kind of took some time to yourself?
I've been doing a lot of writing, and I actually never really considered myself a writer prior to this quarantine, but I've really been leaning into that facet and loving every moment of it. So I've been doing a lot of writing and a lot of binge watching of TV.
What are your favorite shows right now?
I just finished Peaky Blinders, and oh my God, I think it was like one of the most brilliant television shows to grace a TV screen. And now I'm watching Money Heist, which is so addicting.
Oh,
Highly recommend. Yeah, I
definitely.
love.
I was really curious too, like when you watch TV, do you look at it through like a different lens with like your, I guess, acting hat and then filmmaking hat? Do you watch TV like differently now than you did maybe a couple of years ago?
Yeah, definitely. It sort of depends on what mood I'm in. Like if I'm really able to veg out and just watch as a audience member. But I think a lot of the time I get really hyper focused on right now, at least with the cinematography and just the shots that are chosen. And I think watching it with that in mind is one of the best ways to learn how to direct.
Of course, definitely. And lastly, do you have any advice for any people who want to get into the entertainment industry or pursue a career in acting or filmmaking or anything like that?
Yeah, obviously, I would say just again, inundate yourself with as much information as you can. And I think that the best currency within this industry is connections and people and relationships. So I'd say just continue to develop relationships as best you can. I guess I would say take people to coffee, but take people to Zoom happy hours if that's your thing. But just, make as many great relationships as you can and just continue to learn as much as possible.
That's some great advice. And lastly, where can fans find you on social media and stay connected with you and your projects?
I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and everything is just at Niki Koss.
Perfect. And is there any other messages or any other projects fans can check out that you want to, I guess, give a plug to or anything like that?
Yeah, I've got a movie coming out in March called Dreamcatcher that I'm the lead in, and I'm really, really excited for that film. I think that it's going to be a really special project, and that'll be out everywhere in March, so that'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much.